Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right but nothing changes? That no matter how hard you try, the universe doesn't seem to listen? Some people call it a block, others call it bad luck. But those who experience it know it's like screaming in silence day after day. Anna knew this feeling well. She woke up early every day with a heavy body and a mind full of demands. She went to work like someone going to war, not out of heroism but out of survival. A toxic environment, bosses who ignored her value, colleagues who pretended not to see it, and a salary that didn't even cover half of the dignity she deserved. But Anna believed. Deep down, she still had faith. She studied everything about manifestation, wrote positive phrases in her notebook, and visualized what she wanted. She repeated every day, "I deserve more. I deserve something better." But life, apparently, didn't respond. And that hurt. It hurt like a broken promise. She saw other people prospering, changing jobs, traveling, living freely, and she trapped in a cycle that wouldn't break. The more she tried, the more trapped she felt. A prison without bars, built of unmet expectations. This channel is not just about stories, it is about hidden codes. Codes that are behind the reality you live in, and perhaps without realizing it, you have been trying to decipher them for years. Here each case is a key, a clue, a mirror of what you may also be experiencing. Today, what you are about to hear seems impossible. But when you understand the universal laws, the impossible becomes just misunderstood. That week, Anna had committed to distributing resumes all over the city. It was her way of not giving up. But that day, as she left home, something inside her simply stopped. There was no strength, no will, just a silent urge to breathe. She looked at the backpack where the resume was stored. She took a deep breath and made a decision. Today, I'm just going to have a coffee. Not to run away, not to sabotage herself, but because everything in her was asking for a moment of peace. No expectations, no pressure, just to be there with herself. She walked into Starbucks and ordered her favorite frappuccino. She sat down alone and stayed. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't expecting anything. And it was there, right there, that something started to happen. Have you ever felt this way too? Like you're trying with all your might to change your life, but the only thing you get is silence? If so, write in the comments, "I understand, Anna." Your outburst may be a reflection of many other people who are also trying in the right way, but with the wrong energy. And stay with me until the end of this video, because what happened to Anna after that will show you a shortcut, and maybe a new beginning. If this content is already touching you, like it now and subscribe to the channel. You will understand why. She chose the quietest table, leaning against the glass where the late morning light gently fell, as if it wanted to caress what little hope remained inside her. She placed the frappuccino on the table, slowly took off her coat and sat down as if, for the first time in a long time, she didn't need to rush. She took a deep breath. And in that simple moment, when the world outside continued to spin frantically, Anna allowed herself to stop. She wasn't thinking about her resume. She wasn't thinking about the overdue bills or the promises she'd made to herself the day before. For the first time, she didn't want to change anything. She just wanted to feel this moment. The sweet taste of iced coffee, the ambient sound of light conversation, the familiar smell of the place she used to frequent before life became a field of tension. It was as if something inside her said, "Stay here, just for now." And she did. The inner silence was filled with an almost strange peace. The peace of someone who, even without knowing how, decided to trust. Anna rested her head on the chair, closed her eyes for a few seconds, and let her body slow down. And it was in this state, outside of effort, outside of fear, outside of searching, that the universe chose to speak. "Well?" The voice was sweet, but it carried surprise. She opened her eyes slowly, and for a moment she thought she was dreaming. It was Marina, an old colleague from an old job, from a time when Anna still smiled more often. The two looked at each other, as if they recognized each other in a lighter time. And they hugged each other with that mixture of joy and nostalgia. They sat together. The conversation flowed as if no time had passed. They talked about life, about how things had changed, Marina said that she was now a coordinator at a new company, that she was forming a new team with a more human, more flexible, more creative approach. Anna listened, laughing, but without imagining that it had anything to do with her, until Marina asked the question, "Are you working now?" Anna hesitated. She said yes, but that she was looking for something different, something that made more sense, something that wouldn't kill her inside. Marina then smiled with a sparkle in her eyes. "We have a vacancy." And I remembered you. Right away. You have exactly the profile. I didn't even know if you were still here. But now that I found you here, just like that, out of nowhere. Anna felt a shiver. She had been trying to express this position for months. She had written down the salary, the type of environment, even the sense of peace she wanted to feel in the new place. It was all identical. It just didn't come when she asked. It came when she allowed it. And Marina continued talking excitedly, as if it were just another ordinary conversation. But Anna no longer heard everything, because inside something had changed, something opened, as if the universe had finally responded. No to her effort, but to the silent choice of simply feeling good. And that's when it all started to make sense. How many times have you looked at your life and thought, I can't possibly be trying so hard to stay in the same place? You get up early, think positive thoughts, give thanks for even the little things, repeat the affirmations you read in the book, do that water ritual, write down what you want on paper 55 times, and nothing. The world doesn't seem to listen. And worse, it seems to listen to those who don't even believe. It seems to smile at those who don't even try. And then the thought that hurts comes, is there something wrong with me? You look around and see other people conquering, living, flowing. And you who are aware, who read about spirituality, who seek to improve yourself, only feel heavy, only feel tired, as if you were in a sea trying to swim against the current. As if the more you believed, the more things would slip away from your hands. Anna knew what this was. And maybe deep down you know it too. The vibration of struggle is silent but profound. It hides behind discipline, focus, and a positive mindset. But still, it is struggle, and the universe does not respond to words. It responds to frequency. And the frequency that comes from struggle, even if well-intentioned, is still scarcity. It is demand. It is control. Maybe you've never stopped to think about this. Maybe you think that feeling good for no reason is irresponsible. That you can only rest when things are resolved. That you need to do more, act more, seek more. But what if this more is exactly what's keeping you from what you want so much? We have been conditioned to believe that achievement comes after effort. That only those who sweat, who prove, who fight deserve it. But universal laws do not work by merit. They work by vibrational coherence. And the pain lies precisely in not realizing that while you try to force manifestation, you vibrate lack, vibrate need, vibrate the absence of what you want, even though you say you believe in it. Anne spent months doing everything right, on paper, in the method. But inside her there was tension, there was a charge, there was a hurry, all the time wanting results, signs, validation. Until she broke that cycle without realizing it. It wasn't in a ritual, it wasn't in deep meditation. It was in a cafe. It was a light moment. In an instant, with no intention of solving anything. And there, without trying, she lined up. Because he finally let pleasure guide him instead of obligation. Are you also demanding too much of yourself? Are you trying so hard that you've forgotten to feel? Right here in the comments, I'm also tired of fighting. And stay with me, because what Anna discovered after this meeting will completely change the way you understand manifestation. You need to hear this. If you haven't liked the video yet, leave a like now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe. You're about to see what you've been trying to see for years, only in a different way. Abraham is the name given to a collective consciousness channeled by Esther Hicks, a woman who, for more than 2 decades, has been sharing spiritual messages about how reality is created by vibration. They are not people, they are energy, a frequency of wisdom that speaks not to the intellect but to the soul of those who are ready to listen. And when you listen with an open heart, everything starts to make sense. According to Abraham, the universe does not respond to what you want with words. It responds to what you vibrate with feelings. And manifestation, contrary to what many people think, does not come from effort. It comes from alignment. You do not attract what you desire. You attract what is compatible with your energy at that moment. And this is where most people get lost, because they want something light, but they vibrate anxiety. They want freedom, but they vibrate control. They want peace, but they vibrate urgency. Anna went through exactly this. She did everything right. She wrote down goals, repeated affirmations, watched motivational videos, followed each technique as if there was a formula. But inside, the vibe was of desperation, of rushing, of fear of staying where she was. And the universe is not fooled by pretty words, it feels. It responds to what you emit sincerely, even if you don't even realize it. When Anna decided to go to Starbucks, she didn't go there to try to manifest. She went because she wanted a moment of peace, because everything inside her was screaming for a moment of simple pleasure, without pressure, without effort. And it was there, in that seemingly banal moment, that she came into alignment. Because, for the first time, she wasn't trying to change anything. She was just present, in lightness, in pleasure, in tune with what she really wanted to feel in her new life. Calm, security, freedom, and that is exactly what Abraham teaches. The universe does not need you to ask 1,000 times. It needs you to feel as if it is already here. And when Anna allowed herself to feel what she wanted to experience, without struggle, reality responded. Her frequency changed, and the answer came. Not because she insisted, but because she allowed. This is the true shortcut of the new law of attraction, transforming genuine pleasure into spiritual practice. Doing what makes you feel good, not as an escape but as a conscious vibrational choice. What lifts you up brings you closer. What wears you down distances you. And maybe everything you are trying so hard to attract is just waiting for you to stop fighting and give yourself permission to simply live, take it. But there is a part of this that almost no one understands, and that is exactly what you are going to discover now. That break at Starbucks wasn't an escape from reality. It was, in fact, Anna's first gesture of reconciliation with herself. A moment of acceptance without resistance. Because, contrary to what she had always heard, she didn't need to suffer a little more, nor prove that she was capable, nor run after it to deserve it. She just needed to stop. And that, for those who are used to fighting, seems almost like a sin. The mind screams, "You're not doing anything," but the soul whispers, "This is exactly what you needed to do." The universe does not move by effort, it moves by internal state. And when the universe feels you are at peace with the now, not pretending, not forcing, but sincerely at peace, it understands that you are ready. Ready to receive that which was already yours, but which was blocked by the vibration of haste. Because every time you say, "I want this now," you are also saying energetically, "I don't have it yet, and that bothers me." And this incoherence is what blocks everything. Anna didn't manifest the vacancy in that cafe because she asked for it. She manifested it because at that moment she became compatible with everything she had been wishing for. She became vibrationally similar to what she wrote in the notebook. And the most beautiful thing about this is that she didn't even realize it. There was no spiritual intention at that moment. There was no technique. There was no effort. There was presence. There was pleasure. There was relief. This is the kind of manifestation that goes unnoticed by those who still think that everything must come with struggle, with sweat, with traditional merit. But for those who understand the universal laws, this is the most sacred moment, because it is silent, because it is subtle, because it does not come with an announcement but with coherence. Anna did not need to search. She was simply found, and perhaps this is the biggest spiritual plot twist that no one tells you. You don't need to deserve what is already yours. You just need to stop vibrating like someone who is still far from it. And this change doesn't happen with ready-made phrases. It happens with simple decisions, with small attitudes, with moments of surrender to your own peace. What seemed like just a coffee was a portal, What seemed like a break was a realignment, and what seemed like the end of the line was the beginning of a new vibration. Sometimes, the most banal moment of your routine carries the missing code to unlock everything. Sometimes the thing you value least in your day is precisely what brings you closest to what you want to live. What Anna discovered, without realizing it, was that the universe doesn't deliver when you demand it. It delivers when you allow it. And allowing it starts with something that seems simple, but is actually one of the biggest challenges for those who are tired of trying. Feeling good now. Choosing lightness, choosing pleasure, choosing to trust that everything is already on its way, because it is. And at the right time, in the most unexpected way, it arrives. And now I want to hear from you. What was the simple moment that brought you peace, even if no one understood? That moment when, just for a second, you stopped trying to fix everything and just breathed. Write here in the comments a word that represents that moment for you. It could be break, coffee, relief, sun, walk, any word that translates the moment in which your soul breathed. If this content spoke directly to what you've been feeling, leave a like here. This will help this message reach more people who, like you, are awakening to the true path of manifestation. And if you haven't signed up yet, now is the best time, because here each story carries a code. And the more you delve, the more your frequency aligns. And if Anna's story touched you, wait until you hear what comes next. To continue on this journey and be inspired by real stories of manifestation explained by universal laws, click on the video that is appearing here on the screen. These are stories of people who went through deep pain, were ignored, disbelieved, but found a turning point and manifested a new reality. Your next insight could be there.